YouTube, I hope you're good. We are going to get into a video, a little bit of a personal one today. I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video, and I'm going to try and do it in as close to one take as I can, with little cuts in between, just to cut some of the waffle. But this video is, if you can't tell by the title or the thumbnail, whatever I've made the thumbnail as or called the title, this is going to be about fertility and the reality of steroids and how that can have a negative impact on fertility, and what I'm currently doing right now to kind of switch that back on. Now, you might be thinking, fucking hell, he's going to be a dad. He wants to try and be a dad. Yes, I've always wanted to be a dad. I've always wanted to try and have my own kids. I just never knew when it was going to be the best time. Over the past few years, my life has been focused around business. It's been focused around getting financially in a better spot. It's been clearing debts. It's been bodybuilding. It's just been focused around other things. And obviously now things are in a better spot. Financially, better spot. Obviously I'm not rich, but I'm in a better spot than what I was. I haven't got the debts that I had anymore. We're in a lovely location, lovely flat, with 2 bedrooms. And obviously from a business standpoint, it's steady, it's stable. If you want coaching, obviously, please do fill out the form below, because this protocol that I'm going to tell you about today is fucking expensive, but yeah, the link is in the description. But yeah, me and Courtney are attempting to have children, and obviously as a result of my own actions with steroids, it's making things a little bit harder. Now, the one thing that I've not got done yet is a sperm quality test, which I'm going to be doing very shortly, but I want to preempt the fact that, well, my balls haven't obviously been working for a long time because I've used some sort of exogenous hormones, testosterone, or multiple different compounds at a time when I'm on cycle. Now, I am not on cycle right now, and I've not been on cycle for months, but I am on a baseline dose of testosterone, which is 120 milligrams per week of testosterone in Anthate. Now, obviously, as a result of never really coming off, it's just been cycling, blasting, cruising. As a result of that, my balls have never really had the chance to switch on, and obviously as a result of that, I think my sperm quality has been affected, because we were trying without the supplements that I'm going to talk about today, and nothing was happening. And obviously, I know it can take time. Obviously, I know it can take time, but I just think as a precaution and as a measure to try and preempt that things aren't working as they should, well, I've got some supplements that I'm going to talk about today, which I'm going to be taking religiously to help switch things back on. Because that's the reality of taking steroids, for some. Not for all. I've known plenty of people to have kids when they're on cycle, to have kids even when they're on just a baseline of testosterone. But the reality is, for a lot of people and for a lot of guys that take steroids, it can have a negative impact on your ability to have kids, which is something that a lot of you don't realise when you jump on. I knew the choice that I was making. I knew the risk that I was taking, but I always knew that I'd be willing to do what it took to have kids down the line, because there are protocols that you can follow, and there are ways and means to try and get things back in a better spot, which is what my attempt is right now. Do I know how long things are going to take? Do I know how long I'm going to be taking these supplements for? Not a clue. Am I going to potentially have to introduce more supplements to get things, speed things up further, or help a little bit more? Probably. But this is what I'm taking currently, and I want to make this video as more of, not an awareness of what I'm doing, right? Because the reality is, you don't give a fuck. Unless you're my family members or friends. But the reality is, you just want to know what it is that I'm doing, and you may be intrigued about what the reality is of taking steroids for some guys that maybe want kids. Because if you do want children in the future or soon, don't take fucking steroids, because that will have a negative impact on that. Or you will, potentially down the line, have to start taking supplements, which are going to cost money, to get yourself back in a better position again to have children, to improve sperm quality, to get your testicles working again, sperm motility, all of these things. It does cost money to get things back in a good spot. Anyway, enough of the waffle. Now, I'm firstly going to go over the injectables that I'm taking currently, which is HCG and HMG, okay? HCG is this little vial here. If you can see it, you can't really see it, but that's this little vial here. So at the moment, I'm taking 1,500 IUs per week of that, which is split across, well, across a 7-day period, which is split across 3 dosages, which is Wednesday, Friday, and a Sunday. 1,500 IU is probably the baseline that I take for HCG. This is not a recommendation, by the way. This is just what I've seen other people do, and I'm just giving it a go myself. I may have to increase the dosage, but at the moment, that's going to be the baseline, and it's what I see a lot of people doing when they've been speaking about fertility protocols. But please, I do want to say this. This is not a recommendation. This is not advice. This is just what I'm doing in the reality of the choices that I've made. The next is HMG. HMG is for sperm quality specifically. So HCG is more for switching your testicles back on and get your testes working again. If they've been obviously on hormones for a while, you notice they'll fucking shrivel up like raisins. It's to get your balls working again, essentially. HMG is more for sperm. It's for sperm quality, because when your testicles have been off for a long time, sperm quality will diminish. And if sperm quality diminishes, then obviously you need something like this to help improve sperm quality again. Now, cost of this, HCG is going to cost around £25 per month, which is not too bad. HMG is the bigger hitter, £35 a week, because I'm taking 150 IUs per week, and this is a 150 IU vial. So yeah, pretty spenny for that one. But that's what I'm taking in terms of injectables right now. There are other things that I can take as well that's going to help improve motility, sperm quality, sperm volume. That's things like injectable L-carnitine, injectable glutathione. These are things that I can kind of look at if things need to be pushed a little bit further. But for now, they're the injectables that I'm taking. Next thing that we're going to get into is the health supplement side of things. Now, I'm not going to bore you with every single ingredient and what it's going to do, because you don't really care about that, and that's probably going to make you switch off the video. I'm going to give you an idea of what I'm taking and the sort of basis of why. But first of all, just a quick shout out to my supplement sponsor, Ultimate Fitness for You, Colin, the man behind the brand. He's massively helped me over the past few years, massively. Just with helping me out with protein powders, pre-workouts, like bodybuilding at the time when I was doing it was pretty costly. And he helped me, well, just get by, really. And obviously, I want to give him a massive shout out, because even now, still supports me to this day with these health subs. And I'd massively appreciate if you want any supplements, you want some top brands, top prices, and a top quality service as well. Link is in the bio, ultimatefitnessforyou.co.uk. Go support the brand, go support Colin, and go treat yourself to some supplements. And you can use my code Coleman5 at checkout as well if you want some money off. Now, the basis of these supplements, what we are looking for is fertility quality, hormonal health or vitality, and also organ and thyroid support. So we've got a mix. Vitamin D3 and K2. We've got Support Max, which I used to use on cycle, but now I use it for different reasons. Zinc, omega-3 fish oils, high strength, and Test XL. Now, when it comes to each individual ingredient, we've got fertility quality, which is going to be massively benefited by omega-3s, zinc, and also shilajit from the Test XL. We've also got hormonal vitality, which we are going to get from boron, mostly Test XL to be honest, but boron and tonka ale. And then we've also got organ and thyroid support. So the thyroid support side of things is more so from the Support Max, which is TUDCA, NAC, and selenium. But the reason why that matters to me is because I came off levothyroxine, which is T4, which is a thyroid support 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago. I was on that for over a year. The reason why was because I was too scared to come off, because from bodybuilding, when I finished my prep in, well, it was over a year, in 2024, at the back end, obviously, we had levothyroxine in because my thyroid levels would have dipped, and it's just to essentially regulate them when body fat levels are low. I was just too scared to come off, okay? I should have come off when I got healthy again and gained a bit of body fat post-show. But I didn't, because I was like, I don't really want to go through the crash. I'll just keep buying it and taking it. But I really wish I'd have come off when I did, when I should have, but I didn't, because I didn't want the crash, and I thought I'd just be okay taking it. But the reality is, I don't want to take fucking thyroid support for the rest of my life when I don't need to. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks now. So these supplements are going to help with definitely emotional regulation as well. because there will be some emotional dysregulation with taking these to an extent. But yeah, and that mood dip as well that you experience when your thyroid's low, I'm hoping that these supplements do help with just keeping that a little bit higher, or just keeping my mood a little bit higher when I'm going through the dip, which will probably be now and for the next few weeks. Brain fog, mood dip, energy dip, motivation dip, that's kind of all the things that you can experience when your thyroid does start to dip. But I'm hoping that these do help with that. In terms of these supplements, I think what you need to know is how it can affect your mood and what I've kind of experienced so far since taking these. So HCG and HMG, I don't really know which is the big hitter for this, to be honest. I think it's going to be HCG. Let's put these back in the fridge. HCG is known to obviously help with getting your testicles back on, but also it can have an impact on testosterone increases, estrogen control, and some people do find that it can have an impact on just a rise in estrogen, which then can cause some side effects. Now, I've not got any of the estrogenic side effects. My skin's great, the best it's been, no nipple sensitivity. But one thing I have noticed, and I don't know which one it is, what supplement's causing it, I do think it's the HCG. But I was crying at Married at First Sight the other day. Admittedly. I was crying at Married at First Sight Australia the other day. Now, that is not me. I have no fucking clue why I was crying at that, but it had me tearing up. And this morning, I was just writing up a post for Mother's Day, and I seen a picture of my nana, and that obviously it upset me. But I was crying, and I'm not normally a teary person, and I think because when I was on androgens and steroids for a long time, I did become a little bit emotionally numb, which is weird to say, but I do think I did become quite numb in a lot of ways, and definitely emotionally. But now, since going back down to a TRT, a baseline dose, and then introducing these health supplements and HCG and HMG, I've just noticed that I'm becoming a little bit more emotional again. I'm becoming a little bit more human again, less numb. And I do think that's partially down to the HCG. Because I'm an emotional guy. I always was an emotional guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. But I just noticed when androgens were quite high for a long period of time, I'd just become quite numb. But yeah, more recently, crying at fucking Married at First Sight, crying at old photos. Bearing in mind, I've cried twice in the past 2 weeks, bruv. What? It's not like me, but yeah, that's one thing that you got to be aware of. Your sort of emotions will be heightened when you are taking these supplements. And if you've been on cycle, for example, and you're used to blasting and cruising, what you will find is when you do come off and try to follow a protocol like this, your emotions start to come back alive. That's what I've noticed anyway. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind, like the emotional side of things, but that's just the part of the process that you've got to go through. Hormones are going to play a major role in this process, and they're going to be slightly dysregulated and all over the place, but you just got to watch out for estrogenic side effects, which I'm not getting right now, to be honest. I'm not getting no sensitive nipples, my skin's great. Generally, I feel quite good, but it's just a little bit more like I'm just a bit more emotional than usual, which I was not expecting. But yeah, that's the video done about fertility and what I'm going through right now and the supplements that I'm taking. If you found it interesting or even remotely helpful, then just like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in future videos. And this is the third video I've done in a week. Third video in 1 week for YouTube. That's not fucking normal for me, that. But I'm really getting back on the grind now with YouTube. I think it's just something that I slacked on for a long time because I just weren't sure what to post. I just overthought it. I was just overthinking content on YouTube. I was just like, ooh, it needs to be educational all the time. And to an extent, I want my videos to be valuable. I want you to take some value away from videos, but I was trying to perfect everything. If I said a word wrong, cut, go again. The camera needed to be perfect. I needed to get a new camera to make sure that I could get the right lighting, the right background, everything. I just wanted perfection. And that over-analysis kind of caused paralysis, which is why YouTube has been scarce over the past year, to be honest. But now we're back on the game, we're back on the grind. So subscribe to the channel and I'll catch you in the next video.